All right, everyone, I don't know who Zuckerberg pissed off, but the New York Times actually wrote a hit on him the other day, accusing him of literally hiring a smear campaign against none other than, you'll never believe it, George Soros himself. Now, Facebook is deeply embattled. Like, again, they're in the running against Twitter to see who can implode the platform the easiest. Will it be Jack with his stupid algorithms trying to literally disable one of the main functions, the like function of the site, deplatforming millions of users? Or will it be Mark Zuckerberg, who purged over the course of the last year over 1 billion different user accounts for botting alone? More than that, has sold user data to Chinese companies and has bundled it up and keeps it eternally, and thus can't even be put under oath in front of Congress because someone might ask a tough question that he can't legally answer. Here's the problem. Mark Zuckerberg's nuts. He runs his corporate boardroom lock, stock, and barrel. Like, there's an advisory council there, but he has inserted, legally speaking, for himself the ability to continue controlling his company directly. Like, he can micromanage anything. He can walk up to someone's desk, say, oh, you're fired, you're elevated to their position. To stop this project today, erase all the files, erase that data, burn this server. Hey, by the way, I need you to go buy me 100 baseballs. Don't ask why. It's a matter of national security. He can do whatever he wants. And he's mismanaging his company and doing stupid shit. The problem is, I don't think he ever expected to be under so much scrutiny. Now, it makes me a little bit suspicious. The New York Times, everything they say should be taken with a big grain of salt. That's number one, in all honesty. But it's something I can believe happened. Because Soros and some of his groups were talking about user privacy in the context of Facebook, number one, but number two, much more expansively, about my hate speech on it. See, the further left wants the Silicon Valley firms to basically destroy themselves. It's why they also gun for alt tech using their hit job people in the media. They're capos, they're mafiosos, so to speak. They get them to write hit pieces on Gab or BitChute or whatever and try to get them deplatformed by doing so. They've done this to content creators too. They tried to do this to PewDiePie, because he's too competitive. He's got too many fans and he gobbles up too much user time. But making one fucking video a day, as hundreds of millions of collective minutes are spent interacting with that content, hundreds millions more on existing content. So if he does a live stream special on some other site, it's you got 1 million people watching or some crazy shit. So they tried to go after him using the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Remember that a couple years ago? And then he quickly realized, hey, I can actually turn this into comedy gold, number one, because these people are dumb and ineffective. Number two, it'll actually make me more money long term because I'll have millions more active fans if I just antagonize these groups with a few dog whistles about the corporate media being a bunch of sellouts, which they are, but I'm sure the corporate media doesn't want us to know that. We've got a weird situation here. They smeared George Soros because Soros was making too much of a stink about hate speech on the site. Now, I'm not concerned about that. I don't care how hateful people are. Let him say bigoted stuff. I think it should be perfectly allowed. What I do care about is user privacy. I care about the fact that there have been all sorts of data leaks in Facebook. I care about the fact that Facebook stores your information even if you delete an account, and it stores it forever. The account is still there. Everything's still archived. It's just not accessible by everyone else. He couldn't even answer that question when asked. He was asked by Congress. Now, here's why they didn't put him under oath, because a lot of them have taken Zuckerberg's money. They asked him, how long does that user data actually stay there after a person gets rid of their account? They no longer want to interact with your site or be part of it. How long does the data stay on your servers? Oh, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, there's like, no set amount, like it could be anything, like maybe we delete it right away, maybe it's like 20 years, maybe it stays there forever. Oh, that's because I bundled it together. See, he can't answer the question because he bundles it together probably off-site and then sells it in batches to other companies. That's how they're making money right now. Facebook is insolvent. Why do you think that they're technically in the green? Because of the sale of user data for ad targeting. Yeah, Instagram is just another mining operation. If you're using Instagram, you've got to be crazy to trust Zuckerberg with all the information you're putting there too. It's just a stripped down, more image-based version of Facebook anyway, being used for facial recognition and a bunch of other government projects. I guarantee that they're doing that. Google was working on drone projects for the fucking CIA. They finally had to stop that because all their staff quit. These companies are engaged in behavior that is completely unethical, and you're giving them more user data, more info. The other night, Gab speculated about, what if people had to use like an ID, like identify themselves to use full function on the site? and stop some of the botting. I'm like, no, that's a terrible idea. Don't go the way of Facebook and these other companies. You're alt tech. You'll lose all the trustworthiness that's making your brand grow. Big mistake. You would destroy your own company. Gab wouldn't be around very long if you were to do that. I guarantee it. Don't even bother trying. As far as Facebook, though, it's very funny to see Zuckerberg and Soros at odds, because, I mean, they're both globalists. They're both alt-leftists of a brand. They both love censorship and abusing people and deplatforming. It's just that Zuckerberg doesn't want him to be one of those people that gets deplatformed. Therein lies the difference. He's looking at the platform and he's like, hey, it's a data mining operation. Ultimately, thus, I need new users to come in and supply more data so that I can make those batches continuously, because the old ones are only going to be useful for so long, and I might end up having to delete the old user data. The government might come in and regulate me. So shut up, George. So here they run a smear campaign. Unfortunately, it looks like it just blew up in Zuckerberg's face. Are you crazy? You've got to be crazy to still be using Facebook in any active sense. Other than to communicate maybe interpersonally with a few people, I don't use it at all. I use it basically, I have a fan page on Facebook that can't exist without my personal page also being associated with it as admin. That's the only reason it's there, so that there's a page to take up that spot. Nobody interacts with it. It's an empty page. It's one post that has links to other pages online. Facebook is so boring. It's so useless at this point. Like, apparently the younger demographic, millions and millions of people have been deleting the app. It's like it's going to lose its slot in the App Store pretty quick because it's worthless. If you're using that kind of social media, Instagram's now more popular. I think it's a crazy idea to trust Zuckerberg with yet more information. Like, put all your pictures here, kids. It's a good old time. Put all your info here. Interact with more people and give Zuckerberg some more information about you. The dude's a fucking Gen 2 synth anyway. He's like a more malevolent version of Nick Valentine without the decaying away of his plastic flesh. That's the only difference. It's crazy talk. I don't trust these people at all. I think you'd be crazy if you do. It's really funny to see George Soros actually named... To see George Soros basically being victimized by Mark Zuckerberg. Oh my God, it's like the jokes will write themselves. It's surreal. We really are in a weird timeline right now. And this story exemplifies that. But yeah, delete your fucking Facebook account. If you have to keep it up, just fucking empty it out. Most of those people aren't your friends. Most of your posts, you can get rid of them. It doesn't need to be archived for humanity. Who cares? Fucking who gives a shit interacting with content on Facebook. It's so thrilling. Now, I'd rather use Twitter, and I realize they have too much personal data on people too. That's about all. Peace out.